Hi again, everybody. Welcome to my channel. This is You Too Can Be Great. Now, it is literally 12 a.m. in the morning, so I'm over here doing this review because I promised, and I said in my previous review that I was going to review the Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, Season 1, Episode 1, Reunited, and it feels so good. Now, for us creators, we have missed Love and Hip Hop. There's like 4 franchises: Miami, New York, Atlanta, and Hollywood. And Love and Hip Hop, next to Basketball Wives and some of the other franchises that we watch, is what helps us create these contents. So it's been a long time since the pandemic. The pandemic is going on a year and a half, and we have yet to have real Love and Hip Hop episodes like we did before. So we get all the tea and all the drama, and we get to basically do these reviews, enjoy ourselves, talk about it, and then move on with our lives. Just have a little fun with it, right? And whatnot. So this reunion, I think, is a good way to start off getting back into the groove of doing the Love and Hip Hop shows like they used to. But they started off by basically saying that Trick had planned this cookout for them to meet in Arizona for a weekend and have this unity bonding situation, especially because of what was going on during the time this was filmed with the whole George Floyd protest, the Black Lives Matter protest, and people calling awareness to systemic racism that's existed in a country that's supposed to be perpetuating democracy and being the standard for what other countries that are supposedly less developed are supposed to be want to be. Now, it basically exposed some of the underlying issues that over 400 years of us dealing with this shit, we have yet to come in a position to where we can have equality socially. And so race doesn't factor into a lot of the decisions that's made in the economy. We can treat people with the same respect and not have this hierarchy where some races feel like they're better than others simply because their complexion is different. And so we have that playing into this episode as they're talking about how they want to build unity. Because we know that reality TV shows, it's a hot ass mess. There's a lot of fights. You don't really see any unity going on because that's what makes the show. So they wanted to approach it from this standpoint. So we had people that were showing up. You got Trick Daddy with his son Jaden. They're out there making one of the best barbecues I've ever seen in my life. I wanted to go through the screen, grab a bite, and chop on something. It was so good. Trick can burn, okay? Hell, I actually want to go to 305 just to go to his restaurant and really taste that food, because the way that they were making them ribs, oh my God, I was just like, you know what? I love a man that can cook. But Trick, even though I know he has an illness, even though I know that everything that's going on with him physically is due to lupus and stuff like that, if you cook for me like that, we just need to just turn off the light, and I promise you, you will look like Denzel or Morris Cujo, or, you know, Boris Cujo or Morris Chestnut. We just got to go, you know, beauty's only a light switch away, and that will be what it is. Because for me, the only person right now I'm attracted to, whether the lights are on or off, are my husband. But I'm just saying, that food was bomb as hell. And if you cook food like that for me, you got me all the way. Let's just not tell my man I just said that, all right? But we had Mama D show up, and Mama D is to have a son as young as the age of Scrappy, because Scrappy is at least 35, 36, 37, going almost 40. And the way that Mama D looks, even though she probably had him a little bit younger, she is absolutely beautiful. The way that she has kept herself together, Mama D, doesn't look like she has a son Scrap's age. I love everything about Mama D. I do think she talks too damn much, and she does the most. She ain't got no damn filter for her age. She should come with some kind of wisdom, but she's still very entertaining. And for her to have stayed in this franchise as long as she has compared to some of the other mothers, and not be as crazy or over dramatic like Lyrica's mama or A1's mama, I'm so proud of her for being able to maintain herself. She did a good job hustling and getting her money. But she's here, and then Yandy shows up acting like, and you know, and she thanks Trick for, I guess, having his people while Mendices was in jail, to serving his 4-year sentence for money laundering. She said that Trick has some of his people go and check on Mendici to make sure he was okay. And I was like, okay, well, that was a thoughtful thing to do, but in prison, you're not supposed to trust nobody. So I would have been skeptical in my case, but at least he said it worked out well, and she was grateful, which was cool. But Yandy goes, y'all need some help? No, she didn't want to help nobody. Yandy is Bugetto. She did not come there to help. She came there to eat. So they're like, go clean the shrimp. She's like, ain't anything need to be done while you're setting the table? Like, can I do that instead? Because I don't want to be sitting up here messing up my pretty little fingers. That's what that was. Then we had Jock show up with his son. I forgot, Amani, I think that's what the son's name is. Jock's son is like literally like an image of him. That's his oldest son, is what he calls him. There's a little bit of difference in their their looks, but they basically tell that that's his son. And he seems to have carried himself very well. She brought him, you know, he brought him here because what's her name? Kendra and him weren't able to get married because of the pandemic. They postponed their wedding like I had to do with my own, which is pissing me off, but I'm finna have it this year. It's gonna happen. But at least the celebration, legally married, yes, but the celebration part of it is gonna happen. But Kendra has also stayed behind because she has a law firm to run and she has a business to run, and Jock has to respect that she can't be part of this cookout. Then we got Ray J showing up with a whole blanket wrapped around like he's a fucking burrito, and he wants everybody to know how expensive, by name, brand, and what he had on. I'm just looking at him like Ray J always, he's like an attention seeker in my eyes. He does little things to seek attention because that's basically what makes him feel the way that I feel like he does what he does because he's a little bit insecure in his personality and his conviction. So he does some of the shit that he does just to get attention. So he shows up without Prinky because we all know that him and Prinky are going through a divorce for the umpteenth time. They're always breaking up. Hell, we just wait for you to finalize that damn shit. Then Sierra and Paris show up. And Paris, oh my God, you can tell that Paris has been getting them checks since she showed up on the show and dealt with that accusation that K. Michelle did, saying that she was stealing some money from her with an Uber or whatever the hell she was accusing her of. I don't know who Paris is stealing from this time around, but whoever she's stealing from, I need to go find that person and steal from them too, because the way that Paris looked in this episode, she looks absolutely beautiful. She had her wig was done well, her edges were tacked down, she lost some weight. Paris has a beautiful face, just like what's her name that just lost a lot of weight, that is a rapper too, that showed up in one of the hip-hop franchises, Akbar. Beautiful. Oh my God. Not that they weren't beautiful before because they were thick. You know what I'm saying? You could be beautiful and thick and, you know, it is what it is. You're still gorgeous. It's just that I'm looking at her now and she looks a lot different than what she looked like when she first came on the show. Paris has a beautiful face, but now she's out there popping and she really is in with the girls. You know, you be around a lot of females like April and Carly Red and Sierra, people who did a lot of surgery to their bodies to make it to, you know, try to get it as perfect as possible. And you're around them as a big girl, you may be a little bit insecure for some people. But the way that Paris is in this situation, she fits right in. You can tell that she didn't come up and she looks absolutely beautiful, and I'm very happy for her. Then we have Fizzle Pop show up. Then you got April show up a little bit behind him, but they show up differently to try and give us the impression they're not still fucking. Boy, bye. We don't believe that bullshit. I'm going to tell you why we don't believe it later on. Then we have Carly showing up with her twin, Jasmine, because Carly daughter looks exactly like her. Both beautiful. I'm wondering what the hell is going on with Carly and Sierra's lips. Like, they both got these duck lips. You know, I go back to the old episodes when Carly first showed up in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and I see how she looked and I see how her body looked. She had that wop-sided ass booty because she had a fake booty in there. However, nowadays she didn't get her cheeks, her lips, her breasts, her body, her ass even bigger. She had done so much work that I'm looking at her and it feels so disingenuous. I'm wondering, what the hell do you look like when you take the makeup off? Because there's some people who do so much surgery on their face that they lose their natural beauty. Lil' Kim did that nonsense to herself, and I thought Lil' Kim was gorgeous, but she didn't done so much surgery in her face you can't even tell who she was before. It's just really bad. This surgery that Carly did to herself, as much as I think she's still beautiful, I look at her daughter Jasmine, who's a spitting image of her, and I see the naturalness in Jasmine, and I'm just wishing that Carly kept the same thing. Sierra, on the other hand, in addition to her slow talking, the way that she articulates, she got them lips too. And I just don't like all the surgery that people do nowadays. Like, keep your natural self. Y'all are beautiful. Just leave it the way it is. But we find out that Carly and Sierra are still beefing because y'all remember last season, Sierra put her hands on Carly because apparently Sierra was facing a charge because she put her hands on Shooter's baby mom, and they were suing her for it, and she felt like her life was in jeopardy and her future was in jeopardy. She wanted Carly there, I think, as a character witness or support. There was something she wanted Carly there for. And Carly was going through a lot of situations with Mo, the dude who had another baby, plus had like this fraudulent character that she was trying to build a relationship with that was just playing her left and right. So she wasn't in the right mind to be there for Sierra the way that Sierra wanted her to, but Sierra wasn't exactly being a friend and being there for her either. So in that scenario, Sierra, being in her feelings, decided to attack Carly. If you are my friend, you're not about to put your hands on me, period. I don't care what the situation is. I don't care how angry you are, but if you ever in your mind ever consider that I'm the type of person that might forgive and forget, or we can move on and get to, you know, greener pastures, your hands will never touch me, because once that's done, it's a wrap. There will never be peace between us. You will be my arch enemies till the end. Hell, if I see you in hell, God forbid I end up in hell, but if I see you there, you and I still gonna be beefing till the end of time. We will never be cool. Ever, because that's just the line you don't cross with me. I don't play those little silly games. I value my skin. I value myself. And if the event that we get to the point where we have to scrap, I might just end up in prison, because I probably wouldn't even think about your safety. If I end up finding a knife in a fight, it might just go bad. So I'd rather just not put myself in that situation. If you claim to be my friend, you should never even consider that in your head. Have a conversation with me or go straight to hell. Then we got Trina and Joy showing up to the cookout. And I'm just thinking, as they're coming in, I'm just like, this is about to be a come to Jesus moment. That's what that is. We have Scrappy and the Bam show up. We had Bambi letting us know in her confessional that she wanted to try Trick's ribs, but Trick looked like that uncle that don't wash his hands, so she'll know she eat his rib or not. Girl, bye. Eat his damn ribs and call it a day. You are a young person. Even if he didn't wash his damn hands, you be all right. I'm just saying, we see him cooking the ribs outside. Is he gonna wipe his booty and then come and then flip the ribs right after? Like, I didn't even see a toilet around or porta potty around the area. That's just crazy. Just eat the damn ribs, girl. Then we had Mendices show up with Judy. And we learned later on that Mendices and Judy and Yandy now have beef, because they don't have Mendices' baby mama there to help, you know, to cause the problem. So I don't know if Yandy and Judy created this beef so they can be in this cookout, so they can contribute something to the show, who knows? But apparently they got beef. And their beef is they're fighting about who gets to spend more time with Mendices. Child, Mendices is a handsome guy. But I remember Raleigh saying that he's penis, you know, his body, you know, that little, his equipment, maybe that's just the political correct thing to use. His equipment wasn't that big. I don't know why this is an issue on who wants to spend out. I'm suggesting that he's sleeping with his mama. No, that's just incest and crazy, but I'm just saying, from that knowledge, I don't know why his attention is such a big deal. I understand that he's been to prison for 4 years. I get it. I do get it. But when he comes out, his priority is spend time with the kids who did not have a choice in the situation. To me, that's the priority. I'm just saying. But Mendices lets us know that because he has a money laundering and drug trafficking charge, is causing him a problem moving forward in the future, because nobody want to take his money. On top of that, because he came out from jail to be in another jail because the pandemic put a lot of people in quarantine. He's not really feeling like he's free. He's feeling like he got another set of rules he got to follow. And on top of that, he's having a hard time picking up where he left off because of his charge, which is the reality for a lot of people who have charges, criminal backgrounds, which is the deliberate case of why they usually try to pin on an African American. You get stopped for a traffic ticket. Next thing you know, it's like resisting arrest. They say somehow drugs get in there. Then you have assault charges. I mean, they just trump it up and up and up and up, because they know that once they fuck up your life with a criminal background, it's very hard for you to come and pick yourself back up. And here you are in poverty, and you might end up raising your children in poverty. It becomes a cycle that you just create. They don't want to close that damn gap. Do I think that Mendices should get a slap on his wrist for drug trafficking? Hell no. But I think that when somebody serves their time behind bars and it's a non-violent case, you need to give them an opportunity to where they did their time, seal the damn record. Don't let any job out there be able to pull the record if it has nothing to do with like pedophilia or some crazy shit like that. Just close those records, seal it, so that way the person can have a start to go and work in a decent company. Now, I know that federal jobs may want, like police stations may want to, know that information. Yes, but there are other jobs out there that don't need to see all that shit. Give people a chance to live a better life. If you genuinely feel like rehabilitation is the way to go, that's the way to go. Because what happens is a lot of people come out, get tired, get fed up with trying to struggle, trying to pick themselves a genuine one to do better, but realize how difficult it is and that nobody will hire them because of their charge. They just resort back to crime, and it just becomes a revolving system, and the prison ends up making money off their backs, like slavery again. Then we had Carly Red talking to Yandy about her and Sierra's fallout of their friendship timeline. She tells Yandy that she doesn't feel like Sierra has been a good friend to her. And I don't believe Sierra's been a good friend to her, because I haven't seen thus far Sierra do anything for Carly. I've seen Sierra complain about what Carly ain't doing for her, but I've never really seen her do a lot for Carly. I think that Sierra may value her relationship with Bambi more than she values with Carly based on how she acts. I've had one-sided friendships. That shit don't last. After a while, I get exhausted. I can't be there for you, and you just use me, and then you don't give me anything back, or you do the bare minimum for me. You can just go to hell. I don't have any any patience to, you know, my patience only lasts a certain amount of time. As an adult, I shouldn't have to tell you to do what's right. I don't have that kind of time. You're not a kid. But she's talking to Yandy about it, and she's letting Yandy know that Sierra, I guess, sent her a post. Everything is done on social media, right? That's the beef. And she was kind of saying something that was disrespectful about Carly's current situation with Mo and her trying to go through the divorce with this dude, right? But then she responded by going to the blogs, and it just became a whole shit show. And as she's doing that, Sierra goes, Carly, you are lying. I want to say something. Can I say something? And, you know, Yandy's like, this is not, you know, they're like, this is not the time and place. Maybe we could talk later. So they did that conversation for now. Then we got Mama D, Yandy, and Trip making a speech about the cookout weekend and how they really just want to be there to have fun, bond, all that stuff. Trina decides that it's better to have an all-girls lingerie party, and the dudes feel slighted. But the thing is, all this stuff about them just being a weekend, you don't just come for a weekend trip to barbecue and somehow have pajamas and lingerie for that weekend at a cookout. That's not how that works. Chances are production had this going on for a number of weeks, possibly months, especially when they had to be social distancing due to COVID, and they cut and paste the scenes together and decided it's going to be a weekend. Because ain't no way you're finna go to a cookout and bring a lingerie. But nice one, Trina. But she came in there and said, let's have a lingerie party. All the girls come. It can be risque. We can just hang out, have a girls' night, ask questions. While this is happening, and the next scene is coming up, Yandy's in the room talking to Mendices, and she's upset that Mendices brought Judy without telling her, which she felt was strategic because they're not getting along. She feels like since he came back, Mendices is doing the right thing by wanting to spend as much time with his children as possible, but in the midst of him wanting to do that, the children are always in the bed and she ain't getting no dad. The way I see it is, if God forbid my husband goes to prison, because I already told him I'm not a prison wife. You're gonna have to be there by yourself. I'm not coming to see you. I'm not coming to do nothing. What I expect you to do is do right by me, be here in civilization in the real world, live this life with me, raise our kids with me. If you choose to go behind bars, not only are you leaving our family, but you are leaving with 4 years of celibacy that I did not choose to have. I should have your dick in my bed every single night so I can use it at my pleasure. And for you to go to prison and deprive me of such a precious thing, you and I will have a whole problem. So I understand Yandy coming out, Medici coming out, and Yandy feeling like I should be over here bouncing up and down on this thing. I should be having fun with it. I should be bent over. I should have my legs over my head. I should be screaming hallelujah every night because it's been 4 years that I have to sit up here and be celibate. Hell, I probably re-virginized my damn self after those damn 4 years. These kids should not be in this bed. And since we cannot get away from these kids, we should at least be able to do it at this damn cookout. Why did you bring your mama? And of course, Mendices is like, you know what? She can do her own thing. I can do her own thing, which is bull. They're all going to be together in the first place. Then see, they show the next scene is Sierra is talking to the Bam. And while Sierra is talking to the Bam, she's recapping the situation with Carly, saying that after everything that's going on in this society for today, she would hope that she doesn't have a beef with Carly because that's not what she really wants. I genuinely do feel like Sierra doesn't want beef with Carly, even though she's going about it the wrong way. She just wants you to be a real friend. But in the midst of this conversation, Sierra tells Bambi that Mama D told her that her and Scrappy about to get a divorce. And I'm just like, what in the entire hell? I'm of two minds about this. I have a feeling that even though Mama D does not like Erica Dixon, she would prefer Erica Dixon to be with Scrappy because she don't like Bambi's mama. That's number one. Number two, if it ain't Erica Dixon, it would be Shay Johnson because Shay and Mama D are like this. The way that Mama D moves sometimes, even though she puts on this front, like, oh, I'm just trying to help my family, save my family, she does a little bit of sneaky little things that could create a problem. She's part of the problem that she's trying to solve. Because I feel like Mama D needs to keep her ass out of adult Scrappy's business. He's married, he has a whole ass family. You're supposed to be the grandma. You're not supposed to be involved in their relationship. I don't care if your son comes to you crying, bawling, venting to you and saying all this shit, cussing out his wife in your face. You as mama needs to just listen to him and shut your ass up. You should not be going around, especially at this damn cookout for Unity, spreading somebody's personal business, even if Scrappy did tell you that he wanted to divorce Bambi. But Bambi lets us know, she's not about the front on camera. She said, we've been having troubles. We've been fighting all the time. Do I think that Scrappy and Bambi's relationship are going to last? I don't think so. And if it does last, it's going to be something like Kirk and Rishi. There might be some baby that's going to pop up sometimes in the future because Scrappy tends to flounder when things go wrong in his relationship. At the same time, Bambi lets us know that Scrappy is very needy, probably because he had Mama D as a mom. There's this situation to where a lot of black men are being overtly babied by their mothers, whereas the daughters don't get treated like that. I have this some, I mean, you see this, the mom, she'll baby the son, she'll cater to him. I mean, she'll basically spoon feed him, pop your titty out his damn mouth and let him be an adult and get out his business. But Bambi says probably because of that upbringing, Scrappy expects a lot from her. But she got 2 kids to take care of, 2 young little kids to take care of. I can't take care of these kids and you at the same time. We're supposed to be doing this together. You're not supposed to be my 3rd child. So I understand Bambi, but girl, you reap what you sow. Because I remember when Bambi was having sex with Scrappy when he was engaged with Erica Dixon. So this is what you asked for, girl. So you just need to go ahead and just deal with it. Now, I do hope that the relationship works out, but the way that Mama D keeps inserting herself into it, I don't even think she wants it to. I just think she's lying to herself. Then we had the slumber party beginning with Trina as the leader. Trina said, how do you guys feel about intimacy on the first date? Fatiana April Jones opens her mouth and says, I'd rather just be fucked than show any intimacy on the first dates. Girl, everything ain't gotta be about sex, okay? I don't know why she's like this. Maybe because her and Omarion ain't together, she feels like she's gonna go out there and spread her wings and be what, and you know, and be a free spirit. Who knows? But even if you choose to be a free spirit, you don't have to announce it to people as much as you do or act the way that you do. She said intimacy. She ain't said nothing about sex. You plug that in because you want people to look at you by saying something that's gonna bring a little shock factor to the system. Girl, bye. Then we have Carly and her twin Jasmine show up. Yandy decided that she wants to fix Carly and Sierra, so she decides that she's gonna assert herself when the time comes. Paris jumps in right after April makes that little piss poor ass joke about how she'd rather be fucked than have intimacy, saying, you know, you're out there looking for Hollywood men. How you and Fizz doing? April tells her that her and Fizz haven't been together for a year, and that they're too different and that they're just friends. They're just really good friends. They're not arguing like they did at the reunion when they were calling each other. She's like, you a hoe ass bitch. You are a hoe. You know, it was crazy how they were going at it. So it's interesting to see how they're communicating in this environment. Then Trina asked the ladies about submission in a relationship. Bambi says, I can submit, but I'm not going to shut the fuck up. And then they talk about African-American women having the stereotype of being too aggressive because they're very vocal about how they feel. Now, I had this conversation just a few hours ago with my aunts, and she mentioned how a lot of black men, when they get success, tend to be with white women. And she made the generalization or the possible interpretation for the reasons for it being that a lot of black men tend to go outside their race or outside their race or date white women because they feel like they get submission from them more so than they get from our women, and that the white American women who do choose to be with our black men prefer to be with them because they get that bad boy edge that they want, something that they see in rap music and stuff like that. Now, on the other hand, I've seen a dude on Instagram on the Shade Room that did his post saying that he's a white guy. The reason why he goes after black girls is he feels like black girls are much more, they care more about you and they want you to succeed. So they'll do everything in their power to be supportive of you. And he doesn't feel like white women, he gets that from them because when it's time for you to fall, you'll just fall. So I've heard from both sides of the coin. So my point being, when it comes to submission, do I think it's based on race? No, I do think that there is an effort on social media and all these little rap music, whatever, to make African Americans seem like that Jezebel, the overly sexualized female. So, and then you call them bitches and hoes and all these different names and thoughts and everything like that in those videos. So a lot of people aren't able to differentiate between entertainment and real life. So we get this image that we're these angry black women or people that cannot submit to their husbands. So we're just this loudmouth people. Let's be clear. I am highly assertive in my relationship, but I am also highly submissive in my relationship because I understand my role in the relationship. I don't think that it diminishes my worth. I don't think that it makes me feel less than. I'm still able to do all the things I want to do, be successful, be a hard worker, make some money, support financially in my household as well as my husband. But I also know that there's some things that's best for me to just woosah and be quiet because men are built differently. A lot of men I met don't have the level of patience women do to tolerate half the shit that we do. They're not built that way. They're very, I guess, barbaric, caveman-like in the way that they were designed. Be the provider, be the protector, be the head of your household, stand your ground. This is what it is. And there's some things where it requires some finesse. And it seems like sometimes a lot of women are the ones that are able to finesse their way. You know, you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. In my particular relationship, I tend to be that role. So when he puts his foot down and says, hey, this is not something that I want to happen, it's every once in a while, so I know it's important to him, I back off. Most of the time, I get what I want in my relationship, but it's also because I let him know that at the end of the day, he leads this house and he does what he's supposed to do for our family, and he's respected as the man and as the head of the household. So he got his job to do and I got mine to do. And submission is part of it. It's just not in a negative way. I do feel like I'm very much respected, very much loved. And if I speak my mind, he does hear me, especially if I'm mad. You better be quiet and hear what I have to say. Okay? Now, we got Sierra and Carly decided to finally have their talk about their friendship, and Sierra is very apologetic, but we got Carly pouring her entire heart with them lips popping out, telling her that she did not feel like Sierra has been a good friend to her, or even a positive friend to her, or even a present friend to her, because she would have liked her to show for her birthday. She would have liked her to come check on her. She's going through one of the worst situations in her life. Sierra's only worried about her damn self and her own situation of what's going on in her life and when she's going to beat up somebody else to end up in jail again, or what the hell Shooter ass is doing, or BK, or who they're doing. She's always in her own way. Aside from her business and her kids, it's all about her. She's not able to be selfless and be a friend to Carly, and damn sure not gonna put your hand on her again. Sierra, being that she humbled herself and just took it and apologized, I feel like they can genuinely move on. They hugged each other, they hugged it out, and hopefully this time they don't go on social media and do something stupid. Then the man decided to crash the party with Scrappy's onesie, okay? And my husband has a onesie too, and he looks bombing it too. Then I do too, shit. Now, Fizz makes the beeline straight to the corner to go and hit on April. April, who said that they haven't been together for over a year, he's so comfortable going up to her, hitting on her, and was talking to her about, oh, you know, flirting with her, like, you know, let's go to the room, let me tuck you in. She goes, yes, I want you to tuck me in. And Paris peeps that. Then this fool just said that they're done. Like, what's the problem? Fizz and April goes and says they went to therapy. They try to make the relationship work, but they're two different people. Then she's going to have sex with him. Well, which is it? You're two different people, but you want to screw him. Is it because of the alcohol? Is it because you just want to have fun? What is the deal with you? I feel like April doesn't have any sense of direction in her life. She don't know where she's going to go. She don't know who she wants to be. She don't know who she is. All her life revolved around Omarion and those two kids. And now that he's not with her, she's just all over the damn place. I don't know which way she's going. She's either with this person or that person. And she's like, don't worry about my pussy. But what you're saying and what you're doing are two very different things. You just told us you and this man are just friends and y'all don't do nothing. Now you're about to go in the room and go do him. I feel like I wouldn't care so much if I didn't feel like I was being lied to. Then we got Jock's son over in the corner trying to hit on Jasmine, Carly Jr. And he's going smooth with it. He said, you know, because you're a star, you know, you got to humble yourself. You got to be able to, you know, get respect. I mean, he's just spitting all the game outs like that. I'm just like, damn, Jock, you literally sensei Mr. Miyagi-Jo's son, because he is as many kids as you got, all 10 of them, you got to be smooth with your talk. And it seems like Jock's son is smooth with his talk. And he looked at Carly's daughter and he said, damn. I want me some of her. And I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And the way he's talking to her, so calm and so soothing. Like, I'm just like, damn. He know what he's doing. He better be careful. He's going to create his own damn tribe. Because Carly's in the confessional going, he needs to stay away from my family. I don't want to be anywhere. I don't want my daughter to be anywhere near his little basketball team he's creating. We don't want to be a part of that. Leave my child alone. And I'm just thinking, Carly, I don't think that Jasmine's going to be able to stay away from this dude. He is smooth, okay? And she's young and 26, and he might be as good as his dad. I mean, everybody said that Jock had a big-ass sausage, and he knows how to use it. Maybe his son, Amani's going to get in there and have her spell his name and shit. I don't know. But Carly need to be careful because Jasmine seems to be going for it. Then we have Mendices decide to pull Yandy and Judy to the side to basically discuss what the issue is so they can fix it. And of course, Judy's arguing that she didn't get to spend any time with her son while he's out. And I'm just thinking to myself, this is a damn shame. Judy, your son is grown. His priority is his wife and his kids. You are the grandparent. Yes, you can spend time with him, of course, but that is his official family when he comes home. That is his priority, to get his family all the way together. And if Yandy is saying that I didn't have some in a long time because these kids have been in our bed, you as the grandma need to calm down. What you should do is come get these damn kids out of our bed so we can get some. Then after that, you can get some of him. Like, this is just too much. It's just unnecessary. I can't. My husband understands me very well. I am submissive in its entirety, but I'm submissive because I am treated with the same respect and the same regard that I'm supposed to get as his wife. Meaning, if his mama comes in here and decides that she want to take him away from me, he will stand his ground and be like, Mom, I love you, but my wife comes first. As he should. That's how he's supposed to do it. Then we have Bambi deciding to check Mama D about Mama D running her mouth already in the beginning of the cookout, telling people that she about to get a divorce with Scrappy when it hasn't even been announced and it's not something that's any of her business, even if Scrappy did say that to her. And Mama D is basically lets us know in the confessional that she did something bad. She decided to send a phone number of one of Scrappy's exes to Scrappy. What is the purpose of that when this man is legally married and has 2 kids with his whole ass family going on? Why would you, as his mom, text him, his ex's phone number? And by the way, which ex was it? Because I sure do want to know. The thing is, Mama D does these little sneaky ass shit, and it's boundaries. I don't think that any of my husband's relatives, whatever the case is, it's appropriate for them to do it, to send any of his ex's number to him for fucking what? Why? What's the purpose of you doing that? Why would you even get into that situation when you know he's married? Because if it's his ex, that means he had sex with that girl. He's married now. What the hell is he needs to talk to her for? There's no need. If he needs to talk to a woman about anything, he's got me. He don't need to be talking to her. You doing that to me makes it seem hella messy. So Bambi already, I'm sure this is not the first time she done something like this too. There are several family members that have tried to cross the line in my relationship. I know that my husband's sister did the same thing. She tried to insert herself in my marriage in a very difficult way, in my relationship, not my marriage, in my relationship in a very difficult way. First, she tried talking to him about his ex and how in love they were, and I just wasn't going for that. Then she tried something else, inserted herself and talked to him about his baby mama and what she wants, and it wasn't her place to even speak to me about that, telling me it's your job to buy her toothbrush if she didn't have it. And I said, you need to just, it's not my job to buy nobody's kids nothing. I didn't have these babies. It's not my responsibility. And number 2, you are not the person that's supposed to be speaking to me about it. I have a man. You're the sister. You're not even supposed to be in it. But things like that are messy. It's like you're trying to put a bug in somebody's ear to get a certain reaction. And thus far, Bambi seems to be handling it in a mature way because she's dealing with Mama D straight face to face. She's not going to Scrappy saying, hey, your mama did this, 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 and this. She's like, yo, you're telling people this and we need to discuss it because it's going too far. Then Scrappy comes walking around, and while he's looking at his wife and his mom talking, he's already feeling kind of nervous because obviously he's wondering what the hell his mom is going to say that's going to throw his ass under the bus for all the messy shit and all the sneaky shit that he's doing on the side. And then before that, Mama D's looking at Bambi saying, you ain't got nothing to be insecure about. It's not about insecurity, it's about respect. You cannot send my husband his ex's phone number that he's not even supposed to be having in the first place since he's married to me, and then tell me that my reaction is due to an insecurity. My reaction is due to common sense and what any woman who's married would react to when their mother-in-law is sending their husband their ex's phone number. What's next? You're gonna send her his ex's naked photo too and say it's me being insecure? That's crazy. But Scrappy comes up and Bambi says, I want to know why your mom is telling people that we're getting divorced. And Scrappy is instantly hot. Not because it's not true. He's hot because he knows that his mom must have said this to cause an issue because she does certain things. But Scrappy, that's his mama. He's going to love his mama no matter what. So he's not going to be able to change her. But he's not trying to fight with his wife when he gets home and have this whole conversation of why you keep telling your mom our business because look what she's doing with that information. Bambi did let us know earlier that they had an argument. Scrappy had mentioned divorce. She went to sleep thinking that it was all good. She woke up and she said, why don't you keep that same energy and pull the divorce paper? Let's get a lawyer right now. Quit playing with me. I had the same conversation with my husband a while back when we had a fight and this came up. I said, listen, if you bring that word up to me, you need to mean it. You need to walk straight to the courtroom, bring me those papers. Otherwise, if we have a fight, no matter how bad it is, so far as we're not beating each other ass, you go outside, take a walk, but you better be in my bed at night because that's the only way we can get through it. Don't go and start throwing out words you think is cute. When you're married and you're married for life. Don't play with me like you're some freaking immature person. Watch what comes out of your mouth and mean what you say and say what you mean as a man. Don't play with me like that. It's not going to be a situation to where we break up, get together, break up. No, if we're done, we're done. If you sign the divorce papers, you would miss me and every part of me, including my voice. You would not see me at all on the face of the earth. You better mean what you're saying. And I know that's how she feels. But to have her mother-in-law be the one to spread their business when they just came to a family cookout from 4 different franchises, this business is going to spread like wildfire. Why are you doing that when we just got here? So Scrappy gets hot and he walks away like, I don't have time for this. I will walk out of here. You're finna play with me like this. I'm not dealing with this nonsense, this TV drama. I'm not doing that shit. He's basically walking away, and then Bambi goes to the corner and she's talking to some of the, I forgot who she was talking to, but she said it's always the mama, which tells me that a lot of the fights that they have is also due to some of the antics Mama D has done in the past, because let's be real, Mama D is not okay with losing her son. She wants her player son to just play with these girls. At the end of the day, he gets to come home because he's a mama's boy, and that's what she wants. That's what that is. Anyway, that is the end of the show. They did show us what was going to happen in the next few episodes to come. We see that Erica Dixon is going to join, and she's going to be twerking when she comes. And I think that Kirk and Rashida is supposed to come later on. I don't know about any of the cast members. I know Jocelyn is not going to be a part of it, or Stevie's not going to be a part of it. I don't know about Mimi or Arian, but I do know that I saw Erica Dixon for sure in that, and I did hear that Kirk and Rashida were supposed to be joining later on the cast. But go ahead and check out my books with the links below. Just Add Pepper by A.S. Blaine. Second book for it is Sage by A.S. Blaine. I'm currently working on the third book of that. And if you're into nonfiction, you want to know the truth or understand some of the stuff that happened during the political election and what's going on with George Floyd, and basically know your nation, your history, and your religious affiliation, and what it's all about religion. There's pictures, there's facts. Unleashed by Adiya, Bat-Tziyon, also available on Amazon. I did not have these books professionally edited because I don't have that kind of money, and it's just not the case. But the fact that I can write these books is an accomplishment in itself. You guys have a good evening and enjoy the show.